Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Janice Combs, how you feel about her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-off.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers.
50 Cent has just ignited fresh controversy by announcing that Season 2 of his explosive documentary, The Reckoning, centered on Sean Diddy Combs, is officially on the way, and this chapter promises to go even deeper. This time, the spotlight shifts to Janice Combs, the woman widely believed to have played a decisive role in shaping the rise of Diddy and the real power dynamics behind Bad Boy Entertainment. According to reports, this is material Netflix refused to touch during Season 1. But 50 Cent isn't backing down. Instead, he's preparing to release this game-changing footage directly on YouTube, vowing to expose a side of the story the public has never seen, and one that could fundamentally reshape how this empire is understood.
Yeah, my mom's gorgeous. Hold on, let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too.
It all begins with Sean Diddy Combs' early life. In the Netflix documentary, childhood friend Tim Patterson recalls how Combs' father, a well-known figure in Harlem, was killed when Diddy was still a toddler. In the aftermath, his mother, Janice Combs, took control of the household and quietly reshaped their world, transforming their home into a gathering place for influential and powerful figures. Those late-night parties became Diddy's first exposure to the adult realm of status, connections, and street credibility. People in the neighborhood weren't naive. They knew exactly what kind of influence was moving through that house, and those early experiences would leave a lasting mark on the man Diddy would later become.
Diddy mom, she came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm going to say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she going to lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a prostitution ring too.
From the very beginning, Janice Combs was driven by ambition and proximity to influence, aligning herself with a prominent Harlem figure to secure a foothold in that world. After Sean Diddy Combs lost his father, Janice redirected that same ambition toward her son, intent on shaping him into the instrument of her own ascent. In the documentary, childhood friend Tim Patterson recalls a small stage set up right in their living room, where Diddy and others were encouraged to perform, dancing, entertaining, and basking in the attention as adults called out, "Do that dance, baby." In those moments, Diddy wasn't just performing, he was learning at a very young age how attention, validation, and power truly worked.
Remember when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs? All right, so tomorrow Peacock is dropping. According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, "That's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed."
The darker side of Sean Diddy Combs' upbringing begins to surface when those closest to him describe just how deliberate his mother's influence truly was. Sources close to the family, including Gondal, have said the dynamic between Diddy and Janice Combs often left people unsettled. It revealed a carefully engineered environment where lessons about attention, admiration, and control were taught early and reinforced constantly. These weren't accidental moments of parenting. They were calculated impressions that would later become the psychological fuel behind Diddy's relentless rise to power in the music industry.
Was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them, that's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex thing.
The patterns forged in Sean Diddy Combs' youth ultimately shaped the world he later built for himself, most notably the infamous parties that became his signature, mirroring the environment he had been immersed in from an early age. These gatherings weren't a departure from his past. They were an extension of it. Janice Combs was fully aware of what was taking place, and multiple eyewitnesses have even reported seeing her present at many of these events. To them, it underscored how closely she remained involved, subtly reinforcing the path she had long set in motion, and just how deeply her influence had shaped the man Diddy ultimately became.
But why you believe she knew about the freakos?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And then you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm gonna say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, you know, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she partied with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the high boots, the age-appropriate, inappropriate.
Gondal has said he always sensed something unsettling about the unusually close bond between Sean Diddy Combs and his mother. After his father's death, Janice Combs positioned Diddy as the man of the house, placing an extraordinary level of responsibility on him at an age when he was still a child. Over time, That bond reportedly evolved into something increasingly controlling and intrusive. With Janice deeply embedded in Diddy's social circle and ever-present at his parties, she was said to be guiding him step by step, quietly influencing his behavior, shaping his decisions, and helping mold the persona that would ultimately define his rise to power.
A relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know, but they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off, she was ever at that type of party, but you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak-off parties.
What raised even more questions for me was the nature of the relationship itself, whether emotional, psychological, or rooted in control between a mother and her son. There's an alleged moment that stands out. Footage shown of Sean Diddy Combs and Janice Combs sitting on a couch, both reportedly receiving IVs after one of Diddy's parties. I want to be clear, this is alleged. I wasn't there, and I can't personally verify what happened. But seeing both of them in that situation raises serious questions. To be clear, I'm not saying Janice was ever present at or involved in any so-called freak-off events. However, given that she was consistently around the regular parties, it's hard to believe she was completely unaware that another, darker side of those gatherings existed.
Situation where they say he was trying to shape Misa into his mother. Can you see that? Like,
Yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really
asked a question: what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh damn! I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video where he was talking about how his mom is still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. And he was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms.
No.
It's a very, very, very weird relationship.
Allegedly, Cassie Ventura has spoken about a series of unsettling behaviors she observed within the household, describing moments that left a lasting impression on those who witnessed them. According to these claims, Janice Combs' influence reached into nearly every aspect of Sean Diddy Combs' life, including unusual family rituals and traditions that many found disturbing. The result, as described by those close to the situation, was an environment that felt tightly controlled, deeply unconventional, and impossible to forget, one that shaped Diddy in ways few outsiders could ever fully grasp.
So how you feel about, her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-offs.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots. And he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency. But it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more of a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell by the well, I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and actually saw her like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, you know, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances, it's because I got tired of a lot of the bullshit with her.
As a reminder, Sean Diddy Combs' early life was marked by a level of chaos and influence that extended far beyond a typical childhood. Allegedly, while Diddy was still very young, Janice Combs was running an intensely active social scene from their home, with people constantly coming and going under her direction. Those who were around at the time have described it as an open secret, something everyone knew but rarely spoke about. Growing up in that environment, Diddy is said to have absorbed lessons in control, organization, and power dynamics early on, lessons that would later resurface and play a defining role in his rise within the music industry.
Janice Combs is speaking out about the Netflix documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In a statement to Deadline, she said, "These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation." She also maintains she was not an abusive parent and says that Diddy never slapped her, as previously stated in the documentary.
Unsurprisingly, Janice Combs has publicly pushed back against the documentary, issuing a statement that firmly denies the allegations. But here's where the situation takes a sharper turn. Despite the explosive nature of these claims, neither Janice nor Sean Diddy Combs has pursued legal action against 50 Cent or Netflix. To many observers, that silence is telling. Whether strategic or cautious, it has fueled speculation that the narrative being presented cuts uncomfortably close to realities they would rather not confront publicly.
You think it's Diddy, it's Janice Combs. Janice Combs is Bad Boy. You don't actually sign to Diddy. His name is on a dotted line, but you actually sign it to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Oh, now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me. I ain't got nothing. You going to...
According to claims presented in the documentary, Janice Combs was the primary architect behind much of Sean Diddy Combs' business acumen. Allegedly, despite serving as the public face of Bad Boy Entertainment, Diddy did not personally hold ownership of key shares, with major assets remaining under his mother's control. Interviews and archival footage highlighted by 50 Cent suggest that Janice functioned as a financial gatekeeper, strategic, disciplined, and deeply involved in managing the label's most sensitive challenges. Insiders further claim that Diddy signed critical documents over to her not merely out of respect or familial duty, but as a calculated safeguard, designed to shield assets and preserve plausible deniability, underscoring just how much influence and control she allegedly wielded over the empire behind the scenes.
2000s and 2010s, Diddy was really prospering, music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs opened towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed. 9 people died. Dozens of others were injured. And there were no criminal charges that were ever filed against anyone for the stampede, but multiple families and injured victims they filed.
So why would Janice Combs retain ownership while Sean Diddy Combs appeared to be running the show? Many point back to a pivotal moment early in his career. In December 1991, Diddy organized a high-profile celebrity charity basketball game at City College of New York. Before the event could even begin, chaos broke out as an overcrowded entrance led to a deadly stampede that tragically claimed 9 lives. Lawsuits from the victims' families soon followed, marking a harsh and sobering lesson. According to speculation raised in the documentary, that moment may have made one reality painfully clear. If something like this ever happened again, everything he owned could be on the line. From that perspective, placing assets under his mother's control wasn't just familial loyalty. It may have been a strategic shield to protect the empire itself.
I was at City College. You understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rockwilders, you understand? You know, we had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs, and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there, I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. You know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
And you blame Diddy for that?
Yeah, I do. It's his fault.
According to Gondal, who says he witnessed the events firsthand, responsibility for what unfolded that day rests with Sean Diddy Combs. He has claimed that security was dangerously inadequate, critical warnings were ignored, and that the chaos which followed was preventable. Many who have revisited the incident share the view that accountability was never fully addressed. To them, the tragedy stands as a sobering reminder that power and influence come with real, life and death responsibilities, and that failures at the top can carry irreversible consequences.
And again, I know the freak offs that his son is there. Like, it seems like he likes to get down with his kids.
Yeah. But that wasn't all. Just to hear Little Rod say, like, the boys were around. Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we seen that happened, that they was all involved, it didn't happen.
The unusually close bond between Sean Diddy Combs and his mother was striking on its own, but the deeper impact becomes even clearer when examining how those dynamics echoed into his own family life. Observers have long noted familiar patterns in the way Diddy structured relationships, authority, and loyalty around him, mirroring lessons absorbed early on. For many watching his ascent, these behaviors have been both fascinating and unsettling, suggesting that the influence of his upbringing didn't fade with success. It evolved, quietly shaping the way he built power, control, and connection in his own world.
Overnight, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs trying to stop the release of a Netflix docu-series due out today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
Off my back. I'm aware. As long as you wear, be with it. I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
According to reports, everyone within Sean Diddy Combs' inner circle is now racing to shut down 50 Cent documentary before it goes any further. Diddy has reportedly issued a cease and desist letter, with his legal team labeling the project defamatory, misleading, and intentionally harmful. They argue that the claims presented are unproven, exaggerated, and designed to damage reputations rather than present verified facts. But here's the detail that has caught everyone's attention. This legal response didn't follow season 1. It only surfaced after word began circulating about the far more explosive revelations allegedly planned for season 2, raising questions about what, exactly, prompted the sudden urgency to intervene.
Diddy Combs' sons Justin and Christian are teasing a new docu-series about their family. Justin and Christian King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old. Combs was transferred to Fort Dix from the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York in late October after he was sentenced to 50 months in prison on prostitution-related convictions.
Zeus Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York and gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still convince your father's innocent? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! You think that's wrong?
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the high, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on 2 separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's
50 Cent didn't hesitate to respond once news of the new documentary surfaced. He gave it a direct, unmistakable shout-out, making it clear he's fully prepared to release material that goes far beyond what audiences have seen so far. The message was deliberate and confident. This isn't hype or speculation. According to 50, what's coming next contains explosive revelations that haven't been shown, discussed, or confronted publicly, signaling that the next chapter is set to hit harder and dig deeper than anyone expects.
As expected, 50 Cent caught wind of it hitting the news, hitting the blogs, and being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Sean and Justin, will be dropping a docu-series of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences, and how they view things on the Zeus Network. With 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promoted the trailer where you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the reckoning. He put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged at 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really pro.
Janice Combs is no longer a footnote in this story. She's now at its center. And whether viewers accept the allegations or remain skeptical, one reality is impossible to ignore. Those closest to the situation appear determined to keep the next chapter from coming to light. With 50 Cent signaling that Season 2 is approaching and promising revelations that could redefine everything, the stakes have never been higher. Make sure you're subscribed, because when Season 2 drops, each disclosure is poised to flip the narrative on its head, and this is one moment you won't want to miss.